Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Hi, Sylbourne here, and welcome to the late one with yours truly. Those on Instagram, I want to thank you so much for coming, and those on Facebook and those on the YouTube as well. I want to thank you for joining tonight as we go down into Lockdown Series 4. And the question is, do you feel stuck in lockdown? Well, we're still going through this whole thing of COVID, which is that crazy terrorist. I would say there's terrorists there who's trying to wreak havoc. But, right through while this is happening, what is well profound is that we're at the same time, we are finding different keys and different tools where we can actually go through. So for the past 4 weeks, I've been with Coach Chris Browne on Lockdown Series 1, Lockdown Series 2, Lockdown Series 3, and Lockdown Series 4, and now we're in Lockdown Series 5. And the question is, do you feel stuck in this lockdown? I mean, this morning when I was doing my normal walk, I saw a lady who was contemplating whether she should go out or not. And she was contemplating, and I saw some children on the road, and they were going in their skis and enjoying it. But she was considering whether or not she should go, and she was seeking that assurance: should I go? Should I stay? Will I get stuck? Will I not get stuck? So therefore, let me leave that one there. I can explain a bit further later. But I want to thank you so much for coming on. Remember to like and subscribe and share. But without further ado, I'm going to bring in Coach Chris Browne, and then we're gonna get the roll going. And he's gonna come 1, 2, 3.
Hey, Sylbourne, how you doing?
Are we not doing a rap today?
Oh, you want to do a rap today? All right, come, let's go all the way. We're gonna elevate the mind and take some time to do something that's gonna feel real good, and everybody's gonna feel like they should.
Oh, well, okay? Was that a rap you did a while ago?
Oh. They just flow out the mouth.
Okay,
not a rap, just a flow.
Just the flow. As we say, we don't. I say don't go with the flow, but what can I say if we go with your flow? We go your flow. Well, listen, Chris, Coach, thank you again for as we embark into Lockdown Series 5. Can you believe it? It's 5 now. In this whole thing of this pandemic, it is 5. It is 5, and the whole issue is about: do you feel stuck during this time during lockdown? But I'm going to tell you a story first, ladies and gentlemen. I normally used to go to Birmingham to this court case. I was working in Birmingham City Council as a lawyer in their child care department, so I go to court a lot. On my way one day, Coach, going to Birmingham, there's a massive traffic jam. So I had a case I was going to at 10 o'clock. So I send a letter and emails and send it to the court and the parties to say running late. I got stuck. ED, stuck. ED. Now, interestingly, a lot of people also got stuck. Not with ED. I'm the only one who got stuck with the ED. So when I reached court that day, the judge was saying, Mr. Sydial, are you still stuck? And I couldn't work out what they were all talking about. Everybody was laughing because that email went around to the different parties and the different lawyers. And so yes. So I found out eventually after I put ED on the stock. so I got stuck, But anyway, that's just a joke there, I mean, my niece in Jamaica was, oh, uncle, that is so corny. I don't know, Chris. At least you laugh, Chris. Who cares? I laugh. I don't see who else would laugh. Stacey, would you laugh? Michelle, would you laugh? But Chris, listen. On a serious note, though, a lot of people are going through some serious stuff at this time, and lots of trials, lots of mental blocks. The whole lockdown zone I mentioned about boost mode instead of staying in lockdown mode or what should I say, safe mode. What's your perception? Because I know that as a coach, you have had situations with people who are stuck. But we are talking about a situation where this pandemic has created a more deeper one. What's your perspective? And shoot it off, sir.
Okay, my perspective. Did you say stuck? Or did you say stuck?
Okay.
All right, I had to get it. All right, well, let's get back on track. All right. All right. Now, all seriousness, this time of pandemic, it's very frustrating. It's frustrating for a lot of people. And obviously, as we know, we've gone into another level, right? So yeah, there is that thing of being stuck. And people are feeling panicky, and there's a lot of anxiety going on. And we got to take into hand the serious case of, like, we're talking about mental health here, you know, or feeling restricted, feeling restrained. I mean, I mentioned this before. There's the word itself. When you say lock down, you know, and when you say isolation, you know, you feel like you've got more control over what's actually happening. You chose to, or, you know, even though you haven't, but you chose to. But when you hear the word lockdown, it sends a different message, doesn't it? It says that you've been restricted, you've been held in. So no matter what, the world is a big world, but just the fact of being restrained inside of a certain environment and being held there is going to make you feel mentally restricted, which kicks off other thoughts. You know, we're talking about anxiety here. You know, the whole process of thinking is this: it goes thought, feeling, action. And that's how we process many things that we actually do. There's a thought first, you get a feeling, and there's an action. So think about this, because while I'm saying this is a golden nugget in itself before we've even begun. You can actually reverse that, because we're talking about everything you do, even as we talk now. For those who tuned in, you had a thought about it. You got a message, you had a thought. Then you had a feeling, I'd like to see this. Then you took an action of tuning in. You see, there it goes. And that goes with everything. So let's just say we're thinking of something negative. So you got the word lockdown. Wow, there's a thought, right? So there's a thought, there's a feeling. I'm locked in, right? There's an action, panic, right? So it's the same way of reversing. You've got to be careful of the thoughts that you allow in your mind. So you got a negative thought, you better start thinking of something that is, let's say, the reverse of that at the same time, so you can actually have an opposite feeling. So guess what? I'm going to stay in and I'm going to chill, or I'm going to stay in and I'm going to get my work done. There's a feeling behind this, so it's okay. So everything else is happening on the outside, but within you, you're pretty stable. Right? Then you do the action, you get on the things you're going to do, the things that, you know, you do the actions instead. So already there's a little kind of counterattack to that thought of feeling of being stuck, of being rooted and can't move. Let's think of the word stuck itself. When you think of the word stuck in a definition, it's about, how can I explain it? Being frozen in one spot. There you go, there's definition. Being frozen in one spot, you're restricted. That in itself could trigger a lot of thoughts in the mind, which cause the feelings and then the actions. You with me there? Sorry, I lost your sound. I don't know if you can hear me. I can't hear you. No, can't hear you. Can you hear me? I think we're stuck.
Okay.
Can't
you can hear me
thing.
now.
All right. Oh, I can hear you now. Yes.
I was just testing what it is like feeling stuck for a moment there.
Feeling stuck.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I pressed the mute. I mean, a lot of things now these days, sometimes we are all in conversation and is it muted or not? Lorna just said something a while ago, Miss Foster. And as you can see what she said right there, trying to keep myself motivated as much as possible in the lockdown, but it's far from easy. Trying to keep myself motivated as much as possible in the lockdown, but it's far from easy. How would you respond to that there?
Lorna, listen, let's put it this way. You are not the only one who's actually not finding it easy, because the longer it goes in, you're going to start running out of things that you should do or could do. But this is about, back to what I'm saying, it's the thought process and the feelings and the action. Now, it's not going to be easy at the end of the day, because it is a lockdown and there's lots of things that we would normally do in our normal lives every day, but we're not doing. And there's this talk, as I mentioned last time, about when this is all over, we're going back. No, things are changing. It's being adaptable in mind, adaptable in your progression in where you want to go. Don't look to the left and don't look to the right, because if you do, you're going to be bombarded by a lot of things that's going on, right? So think of some, let's say in a moment now, but think of some vision and some goals at the same time that you need to do. If it goes back to the panicking, like I said, bring the anxiety, oh no, oh no, oh no. I spoke about those breathing exercises last time, about doing what we call circular breathing. So I'm answering this double fold. I'm answering about the whole idea of it's not easy, but I'm also saying a practical thing to get back in line with that relaxed mode in where you are. So what I say is, I won't go over it all now for now and practice it again, but there is that thing, it's called circular breathing. Circular breathing, where you're breathing in through your nose, and I mentioned it goes down, right down inside your lungs, hold for 3, then breathe out for 3 through the teeth, through the mouth. Doing a rotation, it gets everything back in sync. You know, like with a car, when you hear it, you can hear it tuning, right? When you tune a car and it's fine, it's like getting yourself back in that space at the same time as well. So it's expelling all the air, right? And then breathing in through the nose only, right? For a count of 1 and 2 and 3. Hold inside, 1 and 2 and 3. Let out through the teeth, 1 and 2 and 3, and keep doing it. Just keep doing it. Circular breathing. You can even try it now, and you'll actually start to begin to relax. You'll notice difference. But to be honest, I'd actually hold it for about 2 inside, then let it out for about 3 instead. Right, so that I'm just talking about, and for anybody who feels like they're a bit pent up at this time, just a way of relaxing and focusing at the same time. Hope that helps.
Yeah, that's interesting, because I think one of the listeners last week mentioned that the breathing has helped her. She's in New York, actually. It was Stacey Thompson mentioned about the breathing exercise has helped her as much as possible. And the other bit I wanted to ask you, Chris, because I started initially by saying that people being stuck, and as a coach, your job is also to unstuck them in their quandary at times. In this lockdown period now, would you say it's a bit more profound, even though at the same time this is something which happened? How much more profound it is, and what should I say? It is more compelling, if anything, if that's the right word.
In this time now, let's put it this way. Before all this lockdown, you'd have people come to you saying, I'm stuck in my life. What I've had is people coming with where they're stuck in their careers, or stuck in not knowing what they want to do. They've got their gifts, they know what they want, they don't know what they want to do exactly. They're pulled this way and that way. That's the sort of stuck we were getting before. Now it's magnified, as you said, the word profound, where there's many more. But because of what's the situation, it's a different kind of stuck, right? One, we don't know if we're going back into the same place of working, right? 2, mentally feeling stuck. There's a lot of anxiety going on as well in not knowing what's going to happen, what you're going to do, or where you're going. And this is where coaching and self-development comes into it, in finding a direction, because you may feel stuck. Let's talk about the career thing for a while. Let's talk about the job thing. You may feel stuck, but being stuck isn't always, as I always say, a bad thing. It's your inner person inside crying out, saying, let's do something, we need to do something, do something. So you got to rein that in and start channeling it in the way that can be progressive. Okay, so you can't go to the building you normally go to, you don't make the normal journey. So back to the same thing I always talk about is, what could you do otherwise? You know, it's like, let's put it this way. If there are no restrictions and nobody will stop you, what would you choose to do? Yes. Right? So let's see how we can narrow it down, where you're actually in a position now where you cannot actually go out. What can you do now? You got to ask yourself that question. What skills have I got? What can I do now? How can I actually develop myself? I'm telling you, in this period now, there are great entrepreneurs being made daily. And as soon as it's all lifted, they're going to go out there, either online or wherever, in that sense. So the being stuck isn't only just stuck there. there are different levels at this time. As you said, it's quite profound this time. Could you imagine? You know, I'm thinking of people I know who are doing very well who are feeling stuck at this time. So you're not the only one. That's not saying that makes it okay. It's just how you handle the being stuck. Because you probably were stuck before, but
the interesting bit about being stuck, as I was looking at it recently, was I was speaking to someone, and I was challenging the person by saying, now you're in this very pivotal position now, whereby you've got this time on your hands. I know we keep saying it, but it's very profound. I think it comes in all the while. You got this time on your hands whereby now you can achieve some things that you couldn't achieve before. And you don't want to miss it, because as what Michelle said, we won't have the same normal, but there's going to be a new normal. And that new normal is going to be a time where you might not have this time on your hands. So therefore, I think what you're saying now is that being stuck is how you deal with it, Chris, isn't it? How you deal with this moment of being stuck. Because it asks you this question. And I use this example now. The lady this morning, there she was. I was doing a walk around the block a couple of times. She saw me and she was contemplating, should I or should I not drive to school with my boy, because he doesn't want to walk in the snow like other kids were there pushing their sled. And she was saying, what do you think? And I said, well, actually, the main road is not so bad. Going down the hill is okay. And so she contemplated, and I said, no, you can try it. She got that assurance, Chris. And because she's worried about being stuck. She's worried about not able to come back home, not able to be able to pick up back her kid, if anything. And we know what it is like when these cars start during the snow period. You know, look from that perspective, does that relate in any way? Even though I use it from a figurative perspective, Chris, Coach.
No, that analogy, that scene that you actually gave there is a very good one. The reason being, think about this. Let's get into that lady's mind.
Yes.
Right. Let's look at it this way, and let's all of us get into this lady's mind. So here we are. I'm her. I'm thinking, wow. I looked at the snow, looked at the car. Need to take my child to school, and it looks pretty bad out there. And what if I get stuck out there part way along the way? What if the car breaks down in the snow? What if it goes skidding or whatever? Oh, I don't know what to do. Oh, hang on. He might know. He might give me that assurance to do it. So there we go. Truth about it is, it was a mental thing. She was not stuck. She told herself that she will be stuck if she goes out there. Sorry, she will be stuck if she goes out there. But the thing about it, fortunately enough, she saw you, and you unstuck her mind to say that she can actually go and do it.
Wow.
And she got assurance from you. Whereas weren't there, she'd probably be, stand on the spot wondering, should I not? Oh, let's not take this kid to school today and But she got an assurance from you in saying, hey, it's okay. You'll go and you'll come back and it'll be fine. So, oh, he looks trustworthy. It'll be fine. He said it'll be fine. It'll be fine. There you go. So let's break that down really. It was the mind. It was mentally.
Yes.
You looked at the situation, terror, I can't move. That's it. But you unstuck it.
Wow.
It's simple, really. You're unstuck.
So what you're actually saying then, in a sense, is a lot of the fears, a lot of the concerns that we have, it's all in the mind. And if we actually free the mind to a certain extent, we'll be surprised how free we can go. Don't get me wrong, there's realities out there and there are factual situations out there and there could be really challenges. But at the same time, the first port of call that is blocking us, that is stuck, making us stuck, not stuck.
Right, we're not stuck. Stuck. But when you say that, right, you let's put it away. Some fears are real, right? And the body, we've been blessed with this thing to say a warning light, bam, 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 this is about to happen. Watch it, be careful. Nothing wrong with that. But sometimes we kind of overuse it when it doesn't need to be used. We start thinking, bam, 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 fear, watch it. Bam, 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 fear, watch it. Bam, 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 fear, watch it. And you're forever terrorized about everything.
Yes.
You got to get a grip of it, a control of it. There are times where you need to leg it and run, right? But most of the time, it's not so. We preempt a negative ending in our minds, and we see the ending of the film in our minds, and it looks disastrous. If we saw the outcome in a different way, we'll take more chances instead.
Yeah,
that's exactly what happened as well.
So therefore, somebody's looking now and somebody's watching now, and somebody's saying, actually, I'm in the stuck zone. I'm in the stuck zone now. I'm in that zone where I'm stuck, and I generally feeling stuck. I keep going forward and I get stuck. What are some of the tips then, or maybe put it this way, why do people generally feel stuck? If anything, what is it? What are some of the key attributes or things that lead them to being stuck, Chris? And then we're going to talk about how to get unstuck, period. How to just shut it down.
Okay. Okay. All right. We're not going to shut it down, but let's go back to that. It touches on the similar things you said. So the question is, what is it, right? Okay. Now, let's think about this. If somebody just right now put a cuff on your legs and cuff on your hands and held you there, you're stuck. You're stuck.
Yes.
But look at your hands and legs now. It's not stuck.
Yes.
But if we went mentally into it, because you're not doing the things you normally do, you are feeling stuck. You're feeling restricted. You're feeling held back. Now, much that scenario where I said, when you look at the end of the film and you can see that, oh, it's a negative ending. Look, you're not stuck. I'm sorry to say this because somebody say, you don't know my situation. I'm stuck right here and I've got a little one. Yeah, I understand that. That's a reality. But the thing about it is you're not actually stuck in there. You know, you got to be creative. You got a tool inside of you, which is creativity, to work with what you've actually got, as we mentioned before, to work with what you got and how could you develop it? You know, what could you do? What could you change? In fact, do you know something? Changing your environment changes your mind. Do you know that? Changing your environment changes your mind as well, and it makes you even more creative. So let's just say you sit in your front room, your lounge and all that, and your settee's always on that side and the cupboard's always on this side and this is always that. And every day you get up and you see that same routine, that same thing. Hey, look, shift the settee to the other side, open up this, turn this around, start writing down things that you could do. After you've done that, your mind will open up. It will have an effect on you as well. Your environment change will have an effect. Change the curtains if you have to change the curtains. Do little things that will make a difference. Tidy, if you got an office space or the bedroom space you use off, tidy it up a bit. Try that as well. These little things make a difference to the mental health of the mind as well, changing your environment. Trust me, I do it myself as well. You know, if I think that, oh, this is getting a bit better and I can't, in a creative way, I'm doing a plan, change something around. I move things around the desk and put it in a different way and whatnot, and then go for it. You know, in fact, it actually lifts things. You feel a lot lighter.
The word that just came to me is refurbishing of the mind. You know,
that is great. You just said it. That is it. Hang on 1 minute. That is it. Refurbishing of the mind. You just said it.
Wow.
And the thing about it, it's a sort of reverse thing because you're changing the outside environment and it has an effect on your inside environment. And you said it, refurbishing the mind.
The mind. Yes.
Hey, hang on, I better write that one down.
No, I had to write it down when it came up a while ago. Refurbishing of the mind. I think that is very powerful because sometimes we have the answers in our hands, isn't it, Chris? Coach, we've got the answers in our hands. We've got the key, which is there. You know, it's so funny. Sometimes you can't find a key, and sometimes the key is stuck in the door.
Yeah,
you know, and therefore what I'm trying to say is that there's a double answer there. You know what I mean? Don't let my wife hear. You know what I mean? Don't leave the key in the door sometimes.
I like your analogy.
Listen, I'll find analogies for any single thing. You just give me something, I'll find an analogy. You know what I mean? I'll do a rap on anything, Coach. You know what I'm saying?
I could just see you like be stuck in the door. I like that analogy. But it is actually true. Sometimes it's right in our hand. We can't see it. but it's right there in front of us. And it's funny because you saying that sometimes this triggers something in my mind that happened on the weekend. I pulled up outside this supermarket. We had to go, essential food, right? And what happened was there was these people near the doorway waving at, but I'm listening to the radio. I'm listening to this debate on LBC. So I'm looking in their direction, but I'm actually listening to the radio, the end of this debate on LBC at the time. So your eyes, your senses, you can't see anything, even though your eyes are open. They're waving to me. And I thought they were waving people behind. I looked in my car, I looked behind, and there was nobody behind me. So I think, hey, it must be me. So I went back like that, and they went like that. Then I went like that, and they went like that. And I thought, it definitely is me. Anyway, I got out of my car, walked across. It's only my brother-in-law and sister-in-law with their mask across their face and eyes that I didn't recognize them from where from. But just that example is saying that, look, you know, sometimes we are not aware of the things that are around us at the same time. And where our concentration and our focus is taken away that intense realization, because the focus on I'm stuck, I'm stuck, I'm stuck, I'm stuck. You can't focus any further than that. You can't see, you can't identify things ahead of you. You can't identify what you can actually do, how you can get out of this as well, because our mind is in that process of I'm stuck, I'm stuck, I'm stuck. So let's cut the cord.
So, and you're talking about some practical things. I see Lorna just mentioned something practical, whereby I try to listen to Jamaica radio station as it gives my mindset a different sense of belonging, comforting at times. Take her away completely from it,
right?
You know, and
that's interesting.
You know,
so obviously that feels like a safe place for Lorna in that sense. That feels like a safe place, as if she's actually there and she's safe. So that's good. It's what works for you.
That's a bit of what you call it, the refurbishing of the mind, sorting out the mindset and getting things going, and recognizing without a doubt that while you think that you're stuck, you're not really stuck. You're stuck in the mind, and therefore one needs to just sort of deal with that.
It's freeing up the mind. It's freeing up the mind, doing the things that will free up the mind and refocusing. That's exactly what it is. You know, a good thing is, and I always mention it, exercise always helps. It definitely does. It gets those endorphins going, the blood pumping up to the brain, and gets you going in another way, in a more positive way as well. It's something to do every morning. Make sure, you know, exercise all the time.
I think this was really good. A nice, good punch. A nice, good dose of inspiration of actually taking someone to the next level. What would you say is the last tips now? Because, ladies and gentlemen, what we're going to do, we're going to jump over onto Instagram and do a catch-up or a replay of this. But we're going to start a fresh thread on Instagram when we come over there. But, Coach, in wrapping up, what would you say now is the last key words or key frame or understanding that people need to apply in their lives in order to live a life, I should say, of being unstuck?
Doing new things, as you just said. You use the phrase, you said, refurbishing the mind. Change environment, that's one that can help. Thinking ahead of it, focusing in the place should you, and not be focusing, magnifying how stuck you are, because that's only going to make you more stuck. The only stuck you have is the stuck that's happening in here. Right? Let's deal with the reality instead of what's actually happening now and how we can refurbish. I'm going to keep saying it, refurbishing the mind, finding another way instead.
Wow.
As I said, and I said to you before, church go to, the motto is always find a way, right? And it really works. It really works.
So the key word which I got is find a way, because it really works. And Coach, I think we got a good point there where we can wrap up. And one of the things that Coach and I said, we want to keep these conversations within a good 30 minutes so people can just take it. But any questions first before we go? I can see Lorna just make a comment there. This helps my coping mechanism.
Michelle, great. Glad to hear that.
Michelle Clark said earlier, there's no more normal. It's a new normal now. It's interesting people saying the new normal. Is it a new normal? It's a new normal now. And
it's not normal, but it's really interesting.
Yes. What is it? What is it, Coach?
No, I'm saying it's not going to be normal. Normal is like as it was before. It won't be as before, but we got to readjust and adapt to a different situation.
And I don't watch news, because what it does, it will let you have high blood pressure. You know.
Well, you know something? Look at this. You know what? Hang on, Michelle, right? Look at this. On my wrist, right? It was a gift I had from birthday or something. It's one of those me wristbands, right? Which tells everything. And then I check it and see what's the high blood pressure doing? What's this doing? What's that doing? Just for the laugh, all the stress levels and all that. And you're very much right. If you're going to stay there in front of the news 24/7 all day, it's going to bang go up at the end of the day. So you've got a point. The stress levels will go up. You got to be informed still in what's going on, but you got to take control over your time. You got to take, so let's say 5:30 in the evening, 6, you watch the news then. You're informed. You don't need to keep right through the morning, right through the day and all that. This stuck thing is going to be even more stuck in your mind by doing that.
Yes.
You're doing yourself damage.
Yes. Okay, Coach. Thank you.
Just one thing I'd say. Just one thing I'd say is, I know you said you picked out a word. What I said is find a way. I wouldn't want to say to everybody, look, I'm not saying you come in here and you didn't get anything, so just go and find a way. Not saying that. Just saying, just like if you spill a glass of water, it'll find its way around. So find ways to be creative. Find ways to change the room around. In fact, you know what? Do something. Do something. Change your environment. Change your room around.
Yes.
In the house or the flat or wherever you are. And next time, come back or drop a line and say what the effect was.
Yes.
Yeah. What do you say, Sylbourne?
I think that's fantastic. Fantastic. I'd change the fish tank around, if anything, or put some more fish in it. But ladies and gentlemen, make sure you tune in to Coach Chris Browne. You can email him at chris@coachchrisbrowne.com. Also, you can check out his website, which is Coach Chris Browne. And always make sure you always remember it's Coach Chris Browne with an E. Instagram as well, Coach Chris Browne, where you can get some good dose of some really powerful words of encouragement. And of course, his new podcast, which is there on Anchor FM, Coach Chris Browne. I think you're also on Spotify then, isn't it? It's on Spotify. What's it like, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is that correct?
That is right. Yeah, on Spotify, on Anchor. Check it out. Got some information on there. It'll be great having board and have some feedback on that. It's a new venture.
Fantastic. And we're just gonna jump over onto. I don't like the word jump over. It sounds so cliquey. We're gonna slide over into Instagram. Smoothly transition over into Instagram, where we'll have another audience where we do a recap. And for those on Instagram, we're going to cut that Instagram there and we're going to start a fresh one. So watch your space in a second. Coach, I want to thank you so much for that. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you pleasure's mine. Make sure you like and subscribe to the Sylbourne Show. And for those on the replay, you can watch it again. Those on Instagram, you can watch it on Sylbourne TV and YouTube and Facebook as well. Coach, I'll see you shortly in the live Instagram. Okay, sir. Cheers. Awesome. So, ladies and gentlemen, slide sounds away too. This helps my coping mechanism. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming on and all the best. And we pop over onto Instagram as well. Remember to like and subscribe. Thursday night we'll have In Review, where we'll talk about some of the big news. Today, of course, we're going to talk about Trump and the impeachment, which is happening now. For those who want some bed night or some nightmare, they can watch it as well. Put some excitement and Punch and Judy into politics, But have a good night. God bless. Sylbourne, and I'm out.